Closer. Okay, I'll call this meeting to order. This is the Town of Larwill regular meeting for July 8th, 2026. It is
July 9th.
I'm sorry, what did I say, July? Oh, somebody put July 8th on the agenda.
Did I? Oh,
I'm
It just
sorry.
goes to say I read it and don't really read it. Okay, Town of Larwill agenda regular meeting for July 9th, 2026 at 7 p.m. All the council members are present, as is Clerk Treasurer Renee Sills and Town Attorney Greg Hockemeyer. Did you all receive the minutes for last month's meeting? Do I have a motion to suspend the rules and dispense with the reading of the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, so that motion carries. Anything that you would like to discuss about the minutes? Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
A motion and a second to approve the minutes as written. All in favor, say aye.
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 And opposed, same sign. That motion carries. First item of unfinished business is 103 West Main Street. We have Craig Wagner here. There's a deadline of June 22nd.
Is that right? This is the 23rd.
You,
Was it the 23rd? Never mind. Go ahead.
Ooh, it's the 8th or the 9th.
Yeah.
It's
you're 1 day behind on everything.
So ish. Ish.
Yes, in regards to the 103 West Main Street, which is owned currently by Thad Kreider and Thrive Beyond Borders LLC of Rosharon, Texas. Since that time, I've had, since the last meeting, I should say, no contact from the owner whatsoever, except to say he wasn't going to be at the hearing. So at this point, the building is not getting any better. It's getting worse. There has been some signs of cleaning up around the building, it seems like. Not very much, but a little bit. Somebody pulled some vines off the north end. But the brickwork is still an issue. The roof's still an issue. So at this point, the board needs to decide, just exactly what you want to do at this point with it. The normal course of action, when an order is unfulfilled, is to, first of all, issue a 10-day notice that we will be letting bids for the demolition. After the 10 days are exhausted, then we go ahead and issue public bids in newspapers for the demolition of the building and ask for bids from contractors. We would set a date to open those bids. The council would then take those under advisement and decide what they want to do with them.
Craig, I'm not going to say it as a statement. Is there any way to secure that? Or it just has to be demolished? Because I thought I saw an aerial photo that looked like a huge hole in the roof in the
There's
back.
the northwest corner of the building, the roof has been missing since the lodge had it.
Oh, jeez.
And they had actually gone inside and built a wall up. They were going to tear that corner off rather than fix the roof and then put some siding on that wall on the inside. That's never been done. The wall's still there, the framing is, but there's no weather
And
resistant siding or anything.
so there's no way to buttress or secure that to make it safe, probably, short of
No.
demolishing it. Okay.
It could be shored up. I don't know that that's going to really help anything at that point, but it'd be very expensive. And the proximity of the other property to the west would be an issue for that. Yeah.
I can't remember if we talked about our other council meetings. And again, I realize this is all real speculation, especially where prices have been moving back and forth. Did we ever discuss whether demolition was a $10,000, $100,000, $50,000, $20,000?
I think you told us that,
Was it Kim?
No.
Tim,
Mm-mm.
yeah, Tim,
Tim, yeah,
Tim.
Tim, yeah.
I think his last name now.
I can't think of it.
Moyer?
Moyer.
Tim Moyer.
yes.
had estimated about 51,000,
55,000.
55,000.
And he was even having trouble finding a landfill that would take all the brick. So it could be a real problem. He says you can't dig a hole big enough, deep enough to put all that in.
and large portion of the materials is gonna be brick on that building. So it, just like always, it comes down to economics, you know. Does the town wanna try to go ahead and get that out, building out of there? And then initially shoulder the cost of the contracting and try to collect from the owners. Or you can go ahead and issue for the bids, get the bids on the table here, and then decide what you wanna do with it later. At least you'd have some idea what you're looking at that point. We can
Yeah.
certainly do that.
Otherwise, we're just speculating.
Right.
Correct.
Exactly.
Is there any kind of a, I know there's a secondary market sometimes for beams and barns and things like that, but I assume not a lot of secondary market for 100-year-old bricks.
I don't think so.
Okay,
I'm not saying there isn't.
I
I'm
just thought I
not
would
aware of
ask
it.
if Tim was talking about trying to find a place to put them in a landfill, that would suggest
Yeah.
not.
The trouble with the older brick is it's not like the newer brick
No,
that they lay in across the streets.
Right,
and
right,
kind of
yeah, that's not
things,
gonna-
so It's too soft.
Yep.
So, would it be appropriate to have a motion then just to say, okay, move forward with that?
authorize the
process?
letting of bids. Is that
Well,
what
for
you're-
sure, if the council doesn't do anything, it's not gonna, nothing's gonna be done. Hopefully, the notice of the bids are gonna be led and the bid process. Maybe the owners will decide they're going to do something. Sometimes that works that way, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay, any further questions?
No?
Anything from this end of the table?
Is there a way to like just demo the half of it that's bad?
It's possible, and if you remember the order, one of the
Uh-huh.
options there was to repair it.
Uh-huh.
This next option was report or demolish a portion of the building, which would be the west side. And then the other one was to demolish the entire building.
So the bid would be for both options, to demo the whole building and to demo the west side?
Yeah, they could do either one of those.
What about repairing the west side? Then there still has to be a wall built, something still has to be put up to secure the,
Or they
so
could
that
build,
nothing get
put the
in it.
roof back on it. There's all kinds of options for repairing it. That's the first option, is to bring it into compliance.
Alternate bids make make a lot of sense. But the west, to just do the west side demolition is kind of threading a needle between the east side and the other property, right?
Yeah.
It's true. And the west side, you know, looking at the construction and the way it was done, does give the east side some support.
Yeah.
So when it's gone, then when the west side's gone, the east side is there by itself.
Would probably fall down.
So it would still require some repair to make sure it's, you know, viable.
So I think we should start the process. So
We have a motion to that effect?
I make a motion to start the bidding process for demolition of 103 West Main Street.
I'll second it.
Would it be okay if the bidding process would include, if this is possible and you're open to this, options for partial demolition and repair?
I mean, I suppose it could be.
All right, what do you
I
say?
can't imagine, well,
Yeah.
okay, don't worry about it then.
Okay.
I just can't imagine how you would just demolish that west side of that building.
It would not be easy to do.
Yeah.
There's rafters tied into it at the top and there's a floor tied into it. in the
Yeah, okay.
midpoint.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going, demolition probably needs to take the whole building down.
All right.
Okay, did we get a second on that?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Any further discussion?
No.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
All right, we
All
will
right.
begin the process. Like I say, the first thing that goes out is a notice that in 10 days, we're gonna publicly, advertise for bids for the demolition.
Okay. Thank you.
Is he up for 106 as well? Or is that a different?
I'm up.
Okay, okay, the one across the street.
Oh, that was an old mercantile one time, wasn't it?
I think so.
And gas station.
Some kind of a store, yeah.
Mhm.
I haven't been involved in that yet. I know
Okay.
there was some talk about the owner repairing the roof on one corner, but I haven't been
Okay.
keeping track of that.
That was just the next thing on the.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, anything else for
Well,
me?
I'm sure we'll be pursuing that one sooner than later.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, we'll get this started.
All right. Thank you very much.
Can you send me that order? You have
Yeah.
it.
I think I did.
Yeah.
All right, got one.
Okay.
Is 102 North Center yours? On mine it's written.
Oh,
That's fine.
that must be this one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the question is whether or not that comes to me.
Okay.
Yep, that's it.
So the next item is 102 North Center, Stephen Laura Hall, rubbish on trailer, truck, no valid plate. Letter sent June 13th, 2026. Any further report on that?
I sent him one in March too. I did speak with one of the owners and, told them exactly what needed to happen, that the truck needed to be plated and the two pieces of machinery that are on top of it need to be gone. And that the vehicle needs to show that it's operational. It needs to move, um, excuse me. And I told them by this meeting, and in the letter I stated that the next step would be going to the attorney in the last letter I sent. And they're very aware that that's where it's headed. So if nothing happened by this meeting, they know what the next steps are.
Okay. Any questions? Have a motion to send it to our attorney for enforcement?
The truck's still there?
Yeah.
Cause I didn't see it. Normally I see it when I walk down the street.
Did you look at it this
I'm
afternoon?
going over how that back door.
She doesn't need a map.
It's on the side, isn't it? It's clear on the side.
Oh, they moved it. I think, oh, she'll find out what she's,
Doesn't say. I didn't see it, but-
maybe they moved it. Be nice.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I for some reason I was thinking it was over there, but that's the connects here. It's right, okay. Okay, I would put it on my map, so I didn't know.
It's gone.
It's gone?
Everything is gone.
Oh,
Oh, well, good.
Yay!
It's gone. I walked all the way around to see it wasn't on the side. It's gone.
everything's,
The truck's gone. The
Yay.
machinery's gone.
the
Everything
owner
is
you
gone.
talked to must have exerted some influence.
Must have. It's all gone.
Okay,
Okay, no, any action on that item?
that's what she has been saying to me for about 20 years.
28.
Oh, 28. I almost said 30 and I was like, I don't know that. It's
No.
28 years. Okay.
202 East North Street. Rubbish on the property.
That's the one I had you go look at, Lori.
Mhm. Yeah, looks better. There's still like a big round horse trough or something in the back. I
They
think
used to use it for a pool.
I was gonna say, I think they probably use it for, it's a pool for the kids, but that's about the only thing back there now, except for a few kids' toys. So, much better. It's done.
Wow, we're on a roll.
Yes, we are.
I think Dale's correct. I may need to surrender my rank there or something. Okay.
The Ecto unsafe building update, I can't help but notice that no one's here this evening for that.
And they didn't call in either.
Oddly enough, and I don't know which side they were doing, it was pretty clear, and maybe this had happened earlier and I just hadn't noticed, but there were clearly some new shingles on the west side of that building. Had those been there for a while?
I don't know.
There was a
I don't-
ladder
Uh-huh.
up on the west side, and there were clearly different colored shingles up
Hmm.
there.
Good.
And I thought most of the problem was on the east side where things had sort of collapsed, and I did not drive around there.
It's on the east side.
Where
It's
the
not-
main
ho-
problem
The
is,
hole is on the east
Right.
side. Yeah.
okay, but that's not where they've been living though, because they've been living on the west
No.
side, and that
Mhm.
looks like, it did look to me like there were new shingles there.
Yeah, those have been there before, but I think it's the hole is the problem.
Okay,
That's what they're supposed to be fixing.
okay, and I didn't go on that side.
All right, we'll table that matter. Pothole repair on Depot Street, leading to the railroad tracks.
That's done too?
Okay, so I got no response again. I think it's too small of a project. That's why no one's biting at it. Cause just to, do a section, like at Depot Street, they were gonna have to do more than just fill the potholes. They were gonna have to, you know, pave it. a
Wasn't the
little-
worst one filled?
I don't know, I don't go
Yeah,
that way.
it is.
Was it?
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
did right before I came here, it looked like half of it was maybe cold mix and maybe there was some gravel. And
Mhm.
maybe some citizen got irritated
Thank
and
you,
just filled it.
citizen. Somebody did it.
Okay, I'm just,
Correct.
it, ma-
Okay, it was. But
um,
anyways.
it
but
was
I know-
better, it was much
Yes.
better.
Yes.
Oh, we are really on. a roll.
You are,
Okay.
because the main one was that one just north of the railroad track
Mhm.
that I lost my tire in a couple times, okay. Well, that was a big pothole.
Okay, let's see about this one.
Did someone magically repair the gazebo?
Yeah. repair
No.
the gazebo. No.
Okay, so I called the company that installed it, but they said they're not the ones, they helped out another company and they're up in Shipshawana. So I called them and someone's supposed to get back with me. They'll come look at it and they'll give a quote of how much it's gonna cost to fix it, to see what's wrong with it. So I'm gonna have to call them again tomorrow and say, no one's called me back, so, but it's. So, yeah.
Okay. The 2027 Town of Larwill budget workshop scheduled for July 28th.
Mm.
So I assume you have,
Nope. Okay, so you guys got copies of it. That's the ones as a budget form 1. So the budget, for 2027 is $259,786, which is an increase of $9,600. I did get notice, and you guys have the copy of it, the email from the fire department. They will no longer be asking the town to plow the fire station. So with that being said, they see a potential of an increase to the fire protection to an additional $1,000. So right now we pay 1,800 a year, so that would be 2,800. Is there a way to negotiate that?
Oh, that is absolutely negotiable.
Okay.
Yeah, that's absolutely negotiable.
Here's my opinion, yeah. My opinion, that's my opinion.
If I may, I know I'm just open public session. You know, we're starting to get a little bit of funds in the tip. And in the union tip, we give the cohesive volunteer fire department money every year for protecting the tip. Right. It's
There's a
now-
wee bit of
it's
increment.
now allowed, yeah, there's a wee bit of increment. here.
Okay.
I think maybe we could cover that 1,000 out of the tip. If it's for fire protection, you know, how we want to define it.
Because we use the public safety fund, is what we use, and there's only that and the streetlights is the only thing that really comes out of this fund. That's about it that comes out of it. So, I mean, it's not like, it's not like, I don't think it'll hurt it, but I just wanted to know if that could be negotiable, because all it basically said was, it'd be, because right now, I guess we pay 1,800, and they just said, well, we plan on 1,000 increase to the contract and the removal of and they'll remove the verbiage from the town's responsibility to snowplow the fire department. So,
Yes, I mean, there would be several different ways to try to calculate what's fair on that. The town does collect as part of its taxes to the town citizens monies for public safety. And you could certainly try to figure out what the town's prorated share was versus the balance of Richland Township assessed value or whatnot, to try to figure out what would be fair for the town to pay on that. Clearly, since they're located in the town, it would not require as much travel or whatever to get there, and they could get there. And we've always had a good relationship with them, so it is negotiable.
So before the state statute said that TIFs could give money for capital equipment, that's since changing. You actually can give them for operating budget too. You know, if they protect Red Star, which is in the TIF,
Mhm.
you know, I'm glad to kind of look into that. It may not be a lot, but anything could help.
If you don't mind and get back with Renee, that would
And
be
we have
great.
redevelopment Tuesday, and I'll bring that up.
because we also in that same area where it's budgeted, it's the police protection, which we don't have, but I always budget for it. So I decreased it a little bit to help compensate that there, because I had to increase the street lights up. So it kind of really didn't help with the fire protection. I also had to increase the workforce I decreased the workforce one. The Medicare, I increased it by $70. I decreased the workforce one by 60, and the FICA, I increased by $340. I'm also building and infrastructure repair. Because we're always having these little incidences that happen, you know, with the building, you know, with this age and stuff. And so I added, in the CCD fund, I added 2,500 for that. And then, other capitals, which is unsafe building, it was 8,500. I increased it to 10K, which right now, this CCD is where the interest from the bank, that's where it goes. So it's sitting pretty healthy. And then then seated, I increased it by 5,000. It was 40,000 and I went to 45,000. So 2026 budget was $250,186. Like I said, the 2027 is an increase of $9,600. So we'll see if it goes. As you can tell here, this is how everything is broke out and where all the money is going to be used at. And I did increase the fire protection to the 2,800 and everything. And, but I'll just see how it goes and, see if I can keep it with that when I go to the budget workshop on the 28th.
Well, we certainly appreciate the economic development's willingness to participate. Hold that thought, because I think, have a lot of opportunity to participate.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I just,
Possibly even with a well.
We'll wait and see what the federal government had to say.
Oh, okay, yes, okay.
Do we need a motion or
Nope.
anything on this?
Nope.
That's just informational. Okay. Garage electrical. I have some light bids.
Yep, I sent out 3 bids and I got one to respond. So,
And I met with them the other day, Kissinger. They're the ones that do the other stuff here. So he looked at the light fixtures that are up there and he said they could be used. What they do is they remove or bypass the little box thing that runs the fluorescence. I can't think of it right now. And they just direct wire it. So we could actually have 8-foot LEDs using those fixtures. So I said to go ahead and do that, give us estimate on that. And then he also a quote for new ones. And then we're looking at everything and Renee and I had talked because there's so many switches in there that don't work anything. Well, if you look, there's the fluorescent lights and then there's another row of just where bulbs were. So they're gonna check out what is hot and what is not. And if this, we're not gonna use the bulbs. So we're just gonna take the switch out and put a blank over it so we don't have all these switches. And then there's like wires hanging down exposed with no caps on them, and it's like, could you make sure that's not hot so nobody gets electrocuted? So they're gonna just kind of investigate things. And then I had to go get Mike because I couldn't get that door locked again, and there has a little trick to it. And he was telling me, which I didn't really want to hear, is that the black on that ceiling that's by the door, the overhead door, first of all, the roofers told me that that is not wood, even though it looks like it. It's actually styrofoam, and the reason it's black was because of running the diesel fire engine in there, and it got black. But then what Mike told me that's bothering him is it's spreading. There's a beam in there, and it used to go up to the beam. Now it is on the other side of the beam and the black is continuing. So I'm hoping and praying it's not black mold from the roof leaking, like it has over the years. So there's a section of it that some of the styrofoam is coming down. So I asked them, have the guy get on the ladder, because we don't have a ladder to him, and just shine a flashlight up there and see if it's black on both sides or what they can tell, if it looks like it was the roof, had problems. So they were going to do that too, but just check. And I said, don't have anybody touch anything. Just look at it and let us know, So these are the 2 different quotes, one replacing the fixtures and one keeping the fixtures, and then just checking out the wiring in the place and doing a few things to tweak what's kind of dangerous in there. So these are what we got. And nobody else?
nobody else.
Nobody else. And I also said, when your guy was here replacing all the resets and switches, he forgot one in the bathroom, but we had a little bench sitting there. So they'll go back in there and replace the one that's not white in
Oh,
the bathroom.
yeah.
So, okay.
Okay, and that answered my question, because I was like, there's a restroom over there? Okay, that's,
Here. But these are the guys that did the other stuff, so. That ballast, yeah.
I think somebody needs to go take a look at that black.
Yeah,
It's possible black mold sooner rather than later. I mean,
Yeah.
especially,
No, sorry.
no, that's,
yeah, it's like yeah. And I've dealt with a lot of black mold in different situations, and the better, the sooner the better. you know. But I don't know what we get. I guess Renee, can you?
Isn't there a test you can buy in the store?
I do not know. And that's something I suppose we could look into between now and then.
I mean, I think there has to be a way.
And I don't know that they would be in there long enough or they wouldn't have to have contact with it. would
No,
it?
no, you could just look.
Because
and
part of my
see.
concern is I don't want to get
No, and I said.
them
don't
or
touch
anybody,
it, no.
any of us sick.
Right, and I said, and don't worry about anything. There isn't any really electrical stuff that they need to look at in that area. What the heck is going on out there?
It reminds me of that Steve Martin line. Hey, I remember my first beer. What the heck is going- Sounds like somebody having a party.
Well, when we talk about electrical, I mean, it's
Mhm.
something that,
All right.
especially now that we know about it,
Mm-hmm.
but there's just been an awful lot of money spent
Yeah, I know.
this year, and it's gonna get worse. So, do we have a budget line item where
Is that electrical work? Is that electrical work something we could take out of that capital
Mhm.
outlay?
Yeah,
And is there a couple $1,000s in there
yeah, there is.
already? Do you have concerns?
No, not with the low one. Cause they're just gonna use the existing stuff,
Mm-hmm.
so that they're cut the majority of it out. And then they're gonna take out the ballast and they're just gonna make it so that there'll be LED. But if you go in there, if you turn one light on, that's all that's on in there, is one light,
One light.
one light. There's a whole bunch of them, but there's one light that comes on. Everything else doesn't work. So, and Mike has gotten all of that little office is gone. He got it all tore out.
Looks
So
nice.
now there's more room, and it's just,
Okay, do we have any further discussion, or do we have a motion? Even if it's the table list till next month?
Well, they could still do the electrical because they're not really anywhere near the black part. Everything is beyond the black part. And I'm sure they'll have the overhead door open when they're in there doing things. So I don't know. Do you want to table it? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think we need to get checked out first
Okay.
to be safe.
All
What do you
right.
say?
That sounds good.
I didn't hear what Jerry said.
I think it needs to be checked out first just to be safe.
Oh, okay.
So
He's
let's table it.
thinking that they
Mhm.
should check the black mold or the. I don't-
Alleged.
Alleged, yes, I
Alleged.
keep saying that and it could be
It's-
nothing
Yes.
Mhm.
of that sort, but it is scary.
Yes. Okay.
Okay,
We'll table
well,
it.
that matters tabled until next month. Is there any more to report on the office demo in the garage?
no, it's done.
It's done.
And in doing that, Mike went through some of the stuff that's in there, and we were just talking, and, they do not have the tools to do their job. He uses his own tool. He does not use anything that the town has because the town doesn't have a lot. There's no drill, there's hardly any wrenches, there's no screwdrivers, it's just endless. So you have a little thing here I went through, and he mentioned some stuff. Some, a drill, screwdrivers flat in Phillips, a wrench set that's, SAE and matrix, and then some pliers. So, I went on Harbor Freight, cause he's the one that mentioned Harbor Freight. So I went on there, then I just went on Amazon. And so, if you went with the first column here, It was 106, and there's pictures back here too. So there's pictures of what this stuff looks like, you know, and then it's just, like I said, it's just normal tools for him to do, and for Mark to be able to do his job that we don't have. So, the one was,
At the top, are those drills?
yeah.
Okay.
One was 59 and the DeWalt was 99. So I just kind of went from a Craftsman to a DeWalt. And it comes with a battery. And so the one was if you buy everything in the first column, it was $170. In the second column, it was $216.85. So, and then down here below is the Harbor Freight. The Harbor Freight was a little bit more expensive. You didn't quite get the same for the price. Like the wrench set back here was 32 pieces, and the one from Harbor Freight was only 14 pieces. So, you know, it's just like, and I think some of these larger ones would be usable, you know, for, you know, anything to have to do with the sewer, you know, if ever he needed a wrench. Like I said, we come to find out they do not have the tools to do their job. So I told him I would collect some information and bring it up to you guys.
Well, looking at these all seem to be reasonable, responsible purchases.
Do they need a tool chest or
There I
cabinet or
have one.
box?
There I have a toolbox,
They already do?
stand up one.
Well, we don't have any tools.
There are tools in there,
Okay,
but they're like, they're really old. They're
Okay.
probably like
but they've got a cabinet to store.
20 years.
I'm did,
probably
and I
25.
cut off,
Yeah,
I cut
yeah.
off, Troy, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, it's all right.
Yep.
I would just, I mean, if we need tools, and we certainly do, but if you work someplace, a lot of times they'll provide the tools, and when we're talking about the total price here being $183 or $230, depending on how you mix and match. I mean, when you're talking tools, that's not very much.
Mm-hmm.
And these aren't,
Yeah, but this is.
these seem,
I know, but.
they aren't, yeah, they aren't junk, but they aren't near top of the line either, which
Yeah.
seems to be a responsible use of money. What was that? Any comments?
Well, I've had to buy all my own tools at every job I ever worked at.
Oh, okay. Well, tells you what I know about that.
But I think as a town, we need to have tools.
Well, if it's a specialty tool, yeah, they will supply that, but any basic tools, I always had to buy my own mics, calipers, measuring equipment, wrenches, sockets, all that stuff. But I get it. Not everyone can do that. And if they are working here, then why not, right?
Personally, I would go with the DeWalt. We have DeWalt everything, and they are far superior to the Craftsman. I mean, if you name it, we have it at least one or two, and the batteries last forever. DeWalt's the way to go. So I make a motion to go with the $216.85 for the tools for the shop, I guess, garage.
I'll second it.
Could we do that as an up to 50 so that we have some
Oh.
for taxes?
Oh,
This-
yeah.
I was just, she said that wasn't
Yeah.
included.
Okay, like, what was the amount?
It was 216, but if you could do up to 240 or something like
Alright.
that. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
do 250, just in
Okay.
case. 250 for,
The motion. I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the purchase of tools up to $250, based on the list that's provided to us. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. New business. You might have mentioned it already. Budget public hearing set for August 12th, 2026. Will that be before our regularly
Yep.
scheduled?
It'll be at 7 PM. We'll do it first.
So it'll be a regular time.
Yep, regular time.
Okay.
And then we'll do the adoption on the 10th of September at 7 PM.
Okay.
And I will note if everybody could carve out, especially the adoption date, but carve those dates out because those have to be specially published. And if for some reason we end up, especially on the September date, not
Yes.
having a quorum,
Hmm.
we have to, that sets everything back. Okay, is that fair?
Mhm.
Okay.
We were contacted by the United States Postal Service and they're interested in one of the town's parcels to place a new post office. And the proposal would be a modular building of some sort. I don't know that I've seen them myself, but I can imagine what it looks like. They've requested what our terms would be, and we're in the process of drafting those. I would think certainly this would be something that would fall under a closed door session to discuss that. So we may or may not need to do that. in the future.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Transactions involving real estate, leasing, or, yeah.
So it's very promising.
Yay.
And so if we can work out some details, I know it was mentioned that there's no active well on that property, so we're probably, someone's looking at a well, whether we can negotiate that or not, I don't know, we'll see. Any comments or questions
Nope.
about that? So I think that's promising.
Sounds good.
Yay.
Line of credit payoff. So as of June 15th, we have a balance of $106,748, and I believe 99 cents.
95.
95 cents. With at the current interest rate, it goes up by $14.19 approximately each day. What are the thoughts on that? Do you have an explanation or?
Just during when we had that meeting for the rate study, it was just mentioned about this and that with the preliminary one, this just was a concern because it adds to that cost of an increase. So it was just a suggestion that if the town was able to pay that line of credit off, it would help out with the rate study in long term, rather than just keep, because now we have this one we have to pay, and then with going after the Okra and the other grants for the infrastructure, this would just add on to it. So I did give you guys a copy of the email from the commercial lending guy, Joseph Grant from Crossroad Banks. So he did have some, we can choose to leave it open too, even after we pay it off, or we can pay it down more than what is actually the 106. So I don't know. I was just putting that out there to you guys because it was just a suggestion that if the town was able to do that, it would help out in the long term with the next year with the
So-
grants and the sewer rate study.
So what we're talking about is debt that the town carries. And what was that for?
Was it originally for the sewer?
It was originally for the sewer because the USDA rural loan it matured, so we had to pay it off. So this is what the town did. The town took a line of credit on what they had in the bank, and this is what comes from it.
So that was from the sanitary sewer
Yes.
line.
This
That
is a
appears to-
sanitary. We're still paying for the sanitary.
Okay, so, and if this were to be paid off, would this come from then the sewer
Yes.
fund?
Yes.
And that sewer fund currently has plenty to pay this off, right?
It has 300,000. $489.88.
Okay,
So I think we would also use that sewer reserve. I think we would use that too. Or we'd use some of it, because that's been there for over 10 years. That same amount has been there.
Mm.
So it's just that, it's like a back, we had to have it for the USDA roll because if ever the town went belly up, we had to be able to make the loan payments to the USDA roll. So you had to set money aside, and once you hit a certain amount, you could stop. So this would cover an entire loan payment for a year.
And arguably that was what the
Yeah.
purpose of it was.
Yeah, and that's what the purpose of it was for.
Yeah.
That's why it was set up.
so
And
if
it's
this,
just stayed there.
so if this were paid off, I guess what you're saying is that we better situate the town to move forward with some
Needed.
essential sewer upgrades that are being looked
Yes.
at.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're looking at bonding and, which is a different kind of loan, and, just to make sure that the funding is there available. Okay,
So just think about it, you guys can table it.
Is there regular debt service that's required on that? Like a monthly payment or anything?
Yeah. So the last month's payment was, oh, wait a minute, it's right here. $439.94. And then we pay an additional $1,000 every month to the principal.
Okay.
So, and that 439 can be 439 to 445, it varies, but it's usually always in that range right there.
Well, that $400 can't be much more than the interest.
Yes.
If there's a per diem of
Yeah,
$14.
that's why I'm putting
Okay.
1,000 to the principal.
Okay, so if we pay it off, we would also save that amount
Yes.
monthly.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I do too. We think it's a no-brainer down at this end of the table, because my gosh.
Yeah.
We've got the money, let's pay it off, like, we'll be saving $1,400 a month.
And there is no penalty if we do that too, because that was one of the questions I asked him.
Mhm. What do you
Wait.
think?
I agree.
Okay.
I'm not sure why we haven't.
Then I
done it
made the
before.
motion.
Okay,
I second.
we have a motion and a second to pay off, the, line of credit. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, that motion carries.
And then we could still maintain, it sounds like we would still have almost $200,000 in that reserve fund,
That's just in the sewer.
in the
Yeah.
sewer reserve fund.
Yeah.
Okay,
mhm,
okay,
Yeah.
okay. But that was so high because we had to accumulate that while we were dealing with the USDA payoff,
Yes.
and they
Mhm.
required that reserve.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and that has been, I'm not gonna try to guess years, because I guessed so badly earlier. But that's been 15 or 20 years since that's been paid off too, hasn't it?
No, probably like 4,
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember when
maybe
it was
3.
shifted
Because we
over.
have to renew it. I bet it's been
Well, no, I'm
4.
talking about the USDA.
Oh, no, that was about 4, maybe
Oh.
5.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
because that's what paid it off.
Right, right, the
Mhm.
line of credit.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I do remember that, but I thought it was longer ago. Okay.
All right, last item on new business, clerk treasurer to be part of Whitley County must Municipal Unit Strategic Task Force.
Man,
I'm dying to know what this is.
All right, so you guys got an email, and I gave you guys, I went to the first meeting on Wednesday, and,
is this something you know about?
No, this is news to me.
Okay, okay, I'm
Okay.
curious, okay.
so, let me see. Basically, it's talking about like your PTRC money and, how the county gets the money and how it is distributed amongst all of the towns. And basically, it's your property taxes, it's your, it's your tax revenue. So there is a council of people, 4 Hodge is on it, Leslie Robinson from Columbia City, Madeline, Madeline Sade from Cherubusco, myself, and Elisa Nepple from South Whitley are all on this,
Fiscal officers.
yes.
Okay.
So, like I said, this is the first meeting I went to. And if you look through this brochure of stuff, it breaks down, it's trying to define the solution of, the current,
Cuts in property taxes.
the current LIT rate.
Yeah.
So where we stand in certified shares, public safety, economic development. And then it talks about on number 11, it talks about a new local tax structure and by how much percentage we would basically would increase it. And if you keep flipping back through there, they give you like scenarios of, okay, so the option is Columbia City can opt in or they can opt out
Because of their size.
because of their
city.
size. So basically, and it's based off of your population. So on the number 17, Columbia City opts in and countywide municipal service rate. So the town of Larwill presently gets $15,313. If the tax rate were to increase to 0.50 or 1% or 1.20, which is the highest, Larwill would receive $183,759.
And
So-
Renee, correct me if I'm wrong. Part of the reason they're looking at this is because the legislature has suggested this as an option to replace the income that was lost from property tax cuts.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes. And this is just, they're going to put this up in front of, the legislature. They have, a company working, I think it's Baker Tilly is the one that's they're using to put all this together. And, so there's a schedule in here too of when the meetings are. And anyone's invited to, you guys are more than welcome to come to it and listen to what's being said. That's why I gave you a copy of this, so you guys would, kind of have an understanding of how it's going to be impacted. And so, like I said, this was just the first meeting I went to, so it was just like, kind of like, we went through all this, and, it was a little overwhelming, but it was educational too, because it kind of showed you like how much money that the town could, how we recoup those losses, because they kind of mentioned it like property taxes are like gonna go away or something.
They have been
Yeah.
severely capped and curtailed.
Yeah, and
Yes,
so
that's-
this would be a way to subsidize for those and stuff.
Was Thor there?
Uh-huh.
Good.
Yeah, so, this does not really, it doesn't really affect like, okay, so the only ones it affects are municipalities, libraries, and fire protection townships. Does not talk about schools or nothing, and that was the big concern is like, okay, well, how are we going to make sure the schools have what they need too and stuff? So, they were just talking about that at the next meeting, I'm supposed to get a list to see who is in trouble as far as, a fire department that's volunteers, that's on this like list that could possibly have to migrate with another, town, like a small town that they're around and stuff. So, like I said, there was a lot of information in one meeting. And, so that's why I printed these off, copied these off for you guys, so you guys could have them, and then I'll just keep going, and the more I'm there, the more I will learn. But they just talk about, the different tax rate, like, what it is in 2026 and what it would be in 2029, which would be the max levy. And it just shows you what your potential could be to get it. And they showed in here, like, the schools get nothing. I mean, they get none of it. And that, like I said, that was a big concern. And also, there's a summary back here on page 27 that gives a potential of what lit outcomes assumption could get. So it's just a way to help subside for all the property taxes, because that's where we get money from, is from your property taxes. On page 28, it talks about your adjusted gross income. So this is basically like the county tax. So right now we're at 1.6829, and they just went through and if you increased it to this, to the higher rate, what it would be. So basically they're gonna get money through your payroll. So it doesn't matter where you work, your payroll will still come back. Your payroll comes out of Whitley County because you live in Whitley County. So,
For lit,
uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah. And then, so they broke it out, and stuff, but it was like, I don't know. I don't think people would even notice it. Cause one increase was like $145 a month that you would notice, not $145 a month. Let me look here, this again. Monthly tax rate. No, yeah, it'd be $145 a month you would see extra coming out of for your payroll, for your county tax.
Well, the current
So-
liability is 84.
Yeah, but then if you increase your rate, it would go to 145.
Okay, so that's,
Yeah.
that's less than doubling that.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, there is a meeting, it's in here. You guys are more than welcome to come to it. The next one is the 22nd at 6:00. So it's in the commissioner's room, which is, go in the back door, don't go in the front door. When you go into the government building. And then, but yeah, and they're stationed out to be for 2 hours, but this one wasn't for 2 hours. So, but they are asking for the towns to help contribute to helping pay for this,
Baker Tilly,
for
the financial
yeah,
advisor.
the financial advisor. They are asking, so we were to come and let council know that they will be asking. It could be based off your population, because that's how a lot of this stuff is based off, is your population. So like I said, and it is on YouTube. You can watch this all on YouTube. It's just it's a public meeting, so it all gets live streamed. So but they were asking for the towns to help contribute to the expense of the financial advisor of Baker Tilly. So,
So to be clear, I mean, this is a tax that's taxed at the county level
yes,
and then allocated. So
yes,
just as I'm skimming these numbers here, nobody likes their taxes to go up, but it would appear to me that perhaps Larwill will actually be doing quite a bit better.
yes,
And
yes.
what we would gain would probably, based on our population
Yep.
makeup, would probably be offset by
Mhm. Yep,
the
The
additional
property.
benefits to the.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. It would, I think it would, because like I said, it doesn't matter where you work, it's where you live. So, because you pay Whitley County, taxes and stuff, so it would come out of your payroll, so you would still be paying into Whitley County.
And since this is an income tax, presumably, I mean, it won't apply to people, say, on fixed income or social security, because they're not. receiving,
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
um,
Yep.
Unless they're over a certain amount,
Yeah.
anyway. Interesting, okay. Any comments or questions?
But just
Okay.
know that they are looking for some support in paying for
Are
this.
have they given an amount?
No, I'll probably be at the next meeting.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what they'll want to know.
Nice
Yep.
nice of them to ask ahead of time. Anything from the council members?
Yes, I would like for us to start pushing a little more uh, about Ty's old house, which has, like I said last month, has the weeds that are past the roof, and the grass is high, and the whole property is completely full of, groundhogs. I mean, there are.
Really?
The whole garage is gonna collapse. There's a topper out there.
I think
and
that's
they've got
that, I think
tunnels.
that's that property.
This
I'm
one?
not sure. He didn't put an address on it,
Okay.
but if it's where they used to live, the
Mhm.
one that's actually in Jessica's name
Mhm.
with the lot.
The house isn't. I thought the house was in Tyson.
Okay, is that, well, is that where Ty is living now? Hmm?
No,
Yes,
nobody's
is
living there.
his right here.
Okay,
Yeah, that's.
okay, so it is a different one. What, do you know the address of it?
Um, right across the street from you.
Yeah.
I can't think of what
Okay,
it
well,
is.
so that would apply to the different property. That was
Mm,
the, I guess, commercial building and the lot.
201.
sounds about right.
201 West Main.
I mean, it's getting so bad that you can't even hardly even see the house
Well,
anymore.
Mike went there
Mhm.
and cut them all down.
The weeds?
Yeah.
No.
He didn't?
Mhm. No, they're
I sent him,
huge,
Maybe he just cut the grass.
which now has the. bug
Is
bites
anybody
on it.
living there even?
No, it's deserted now.
Mhm.
And
so it looks the same as it did when you sent me those pictures?
mhm.
All right.
Let me know. I'm not sure that we're gonna get a whole lot of response to a letter, but you've been pretty lucky here so far, so.
I'll,
Yeah, it's really
I'll just tell
bad.
Mike to go again.
Okay,
I'll just tell him to go again and,
okay.
yeah, because he was probably there
I think the
an hour.
weed killer stuff would be used, should be used
Right.
there, because it's really bad.
Yeah.
All right, anything else from the,
That's it for me.
Jerry, anything? Nope. You
Yeah,
have it,
just a couple of comments. I didn't know if Nathan Bilger had ever given a report on the tip funds. So there's not a lot in there. I think there may be like 10 grand or something like that. All of it from the increment, from the expansion from Red Star. Red Star seems to be doing pretty good. To the point where, they were part of Wishbone and Warsaw, and that's shut down, and all that works here now. I continue to kind of feel, we try and do something with the property over there by Red Star that's in the TIF and some of the jeweler property. We've been talking to them. If I get the right project, I did have somebody wanting to put they were just talking about it, scrapyard. I didn't think that is anything council would be interested in, and B, it doesn't really put money into the tip. I had some notes talking to Region 3A today, but of course I locked them in my office and had the wrong key.
Mhm.
So I talked to Sandra Tamez today, Renee, about where things stood on the grant. Who's the group?
Commonwealth?
Commonwealth, yeah. And so they're now that the study's been done for the grant for the sewer work, and, she put me in contact with her. I haven't talked to her, but they were thinking that, who knows, we should, in a month, we should hear something. I don't know what you've been told.
Yeah, we haven't been told anything. No, not of lately, yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to, stay on top of that a little bit. And then the other thing is just keeping an eye on NDOT and what they want to do out here, because they keep changing their mind, even though the Pell study is done, and I don't know if you guys have seen some of those things.
Mhm.
But we're fighting with that,
Mhm.
especially around SDI and a 600 and those kind of things. So just, those are just things I constantly monitor, for Larwill. I was thinking there was one other. Yeah, just some of those general comments. Updates.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Uh-huh.
You have anything,
I
Greg?
do not.
All right, financial report.
All right.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. The bank's balance as of June 30th, 2026, $764,880.07. The registered claims for the month of June or July are $10,595.05. Everything is basically the same, except for I'm going to go to, I gotta go to the Wheelie County Recorder's office this month. I have to do it this month, so I am going to get there to release some liens and place some new liens on some properties. And then the deposits for the month of June were $19,743.21. And just so you guys are aware, the town of Pearson has lost their superintendent of the waste,
Sewer
of
utility,
the sewer
wastewater.
utility over there. So, I was gonna reach out to them because when I got the bill for May and June, they're just estimating the usage that's coming through. And I don't understand that, why they're just, because there's a meter there. So I don't understand why we're just estimating it. Why aren't we going there and reading the meter? You know, I don't know if there's like, no one else knows how to read the meter or something. So they're just estimating. I just got them, well, with this here. So they're estimating them at, I think it was 14. I can't remember if I kept it. I kept it, but I can't remember if I brought it with me. Look, I think they're estimating like 14 gallons a day. So I don't know. I was a little bit questioning that, how you would just estimate something when you have no one that can read a meter. So I'll reach out to them and get some clarification on why it can't be read like, you know, any other time. So, but yeah.
Here we have a motion to approve the financial report as read.
I make a motion to approve the financial report as read.
I'll second it.
A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Anything else for the good of the order? All right, we are adjourned at 8:08.
Still need to sign.